Hello everyone, Oheao here, and today I am responding to the awards tag that was started by oheao. oheao are twins, and they recently won their very first channel award. I think this week they were one of the most viewed Canadian channels on YouTube. So to celebrate, they have started an open tag called the awards tag, which contains 5 generic gaming questions. But while it was an open tag, they did tag one person in particular, me. So, yeah, this is my response to the tag. Question 1. What is the best beat 'em up on the Super Nintendo? Gotta be Street Fighter 2 The World War, hands down. I mean, even before I got my Super Nintendo, I was so gripped into the game, with the advertisements, watching the game, When I saw the fireball for the first time, I thought, wow, that wasn't what I was expecting. So, eventually I got my Super Nintendo, and with it Street Fighter 2 The World War, and I just spent so much time on that game, so definitely for me it's Street Fighter 2 The World War. Question 2. What is the best fighting game of all time? Final Fight. I walked past the arcade machine and I thought, I have to play this game, and I loved it. Everything about the game stood out for me. The graphics, the music, the overall fighting, Mike Haggard, the pile driver, awesome. I just so love doing that pile driver, so yeah, the best fighting game for me is definitely Final Fight. Question 3. What is the worst game for the 2600? I have never played a 2600 game before. I do not have a 2600 emulator, so I do not have a clear-cut answer for that one, but the worst game for the 2600 is definitely E.T. the Extraterrestrial in the views of many. The game is just so bad. I've never played it, thankfully, but I've seen videos of it and it just looks so unplayable. And the game is so bad, a number of copies of E.T. the Extraterrestrial were buried in a landfill, I think in New Mexico. That's how bad the game was, that they actually buried a number of copies of it. So, yeah, definitely, I do not have a clear-cut answer for other ones, so sorry, but the worst game, for the best of my knowledge, was E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Question 4. What is the best game for the Nintendo 64? Again, I never had an N64 growing up, but a lot of my friends and relatives had an N64. So, yeah, the N64. I have 2. The first one that comes to mind is WCW NWO Revenge. I grew up such a huge wrestling fan, and a lot of my friends were wrestling fans also, and we all got together and played NWO Revenge. For me it's the best wrestling game ever, or at least in my opinion. And the second one, and I think I'm slightly going to put this ahead of NWO Revenge, it's GoldenEye. Growing up a huge wrestling fan, I was probably always going to enjoy WCW NWO Revenge. I was not so much a fan of the first-person shooter genre, but GoldenEye definitely done a great job of getting my attention. For me, it's the best first-person shooter ever, and it's definitely a favorite of mine. The amount of time I spent on that game was ridiculous. So, yeah, I would probably give GoldenEye the nudge for the reason that, I was not so much a big fan of the first-person shooter genre, but I really loved GoldenEye. And question 5. What is the most underrated game for the PlayStation 1? I very nearly did not have an answer for this question, because when I was building up a PlayStation collection, I did not care about ratings. I did not care about the reviews. If it looked good, I was going to buy it regardless. But there's one game in my collection, and I know there's probably better, underrated games than the one I picked. But out of my collection, there was one game in particular that I felt did not get enough attention, and it's a soccer game called Libero Grande. And what is so unique about the game is that with a soccer game, you're normally controlling 11 guys. With Libero Grande, you're controlling one guy, the star player, and that star player is you. And when I played the game for the first time, I thought, what a genius idea. You're playing as one person. That is so genius. And I love the game. It's one of my personal favorites for the PlayStation. And I don't think it got enough attention. I don't think it got the critical praise that I felt it deserved. So, out of my collection, I would definitely say Libero Grande. And yep, that is the tag finished. So, I just want to end the tag by personally thanking oheao. The story went that they subscribed to my channel, Ototo72, and I checked out their channel. Liked the fact that they uploaded the music for Super Mario Land and Time Splitters, so I subbed back. And within hours, they one of the videos popped up in my subscription module, and it was a tribute to Ototo72. I'm thinking, what on earth have I deserved to get this? And honestly, viewing the video, it was just so appreciated. You know, words could not describe how I felt at the time. So, I mean, my jaw was literally on the floor. Honestly, you know, thank you, Oheao. I cannot thank you guys enough. That was such a really nice thing to do. You know, I don't ask for these things. So to do that for me, you know, that I just so appreciate it. You know, anybody can easily look at that video and think, oh, hang on, that wasn't really much of a tribute. You know, it was only text on a screen. It was only 27 seconds long. You know, if you wanted to do a proper tribute, you could pick out some of your favorite music for yourself. I don't care. I do not care. The fact that they took the time to do that video for me, you know, a simple person like me, you know, oh, honestly, you know, it really touched me. It really did. So, thank you, Oheao. That, you know, was a great thing to do. You know, I cannot thank you guys enough. So, if you haven't checked out Oheao's channel, check them out, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon for more tag responses. Sayonara.